Okay, I'm up here in the Tower of Grossmünster. There are actually two towers, I'm sure, as everybody knows. The other one is the Klingel Tower, which is for the bells. And the tour guide assured me that this would be the better tower to be in because, of course, the noise, the bells that are going to be going in about 10 minutes here. It'll be 2 o'clock. But what's important to Grossmünster and with Ulrich Zwingli is that Ulrich Zwingli didn't start here. This wasn't the foundational church here. But rather he started way back trying to teach the common people the Bible, as he said, from A to Z. And he was also a chaplain within the Swiss mercenary, and he followed the Swiss mercenaries as they went through their exercises, as they went for hire in other countries, and he became disillusioned with the soldier's life, with all of its evils, with all the sin, with all the excesses that accompanied the soldiers on their trip. So in 1519, he has already made a protest to the Vatican, to Roman Catholic Church. That was not received very well, the protest against using mercenaries to fight other countries' battles. And so in 1519, he comes here to Zurich. He becomes a Lutpriester, or the people's pastor here. And he also marries Anna Reinhardt at this time. 1522 comes around, and he is going to give, he's going to follow in the footsteps of Martin Luther, as he says, the problem is we're not going to keep going along some of this doctrine, especially when it came to, specifically in Zurich, eating sausages. Now you say, how is that doctrine? Well, it was actually to go with the doctrine of fasting on Fridays. And so there was the 1522 affair of the sausages, where it assaulted the ideas of fasting. And yes, you can eat sausages on Friday, but it also addressed several other problems. And those problems had to do with calling the Eucharist, communion, calling that the Lord's table now. Also saying that it was all right for monks not to be celibate, that they could marry. Also, a little bit of a twist is that Mr. Zwingli saw that in order to truly worship, he believed, that there couldn't be any instruments. He considered that as another tongue, and he saw that as something that should not be in the church. And so, of course, he went through the churches, not only taking out the musical instruments, but also images, icons, and anything that would be something that would be an idol that he believed that he saw. So that went through the churches, and in 1525, he has some interesting issues, but in 1528 there's the Bern debate. And then in 1529 he has Marburg, where he famously meets Martin Luther. They cannot completely agree on what exactly communion is. And then in 1531, within a few years, we have the papal troops, and we have also the forest cantons of Switzerland coming against Ulrich Zwingli and his very small, unprepared army. And basically, to sum it up, he dies that day, struck by, first wounded by a rock, and then asked and told to recant. He didn't recant, and they killed him on the spot there in the battlefield. Another thing, the main things that Mr. Ulrich Zwingli added to the theological discussion and to development is that he sees Christ as present in the communion. Now, this is different than what the Roman Catholic Church believed, as well as marriage and the celibacy. And also he defended sola scriptura, and he also, if you saw earlier in the picture of Ulrich Zwingli, or if you've seen the statue of Ulrich Zwingli, he's holding the Bible and the sword. And of course he did a very quick job of trying to unite state and church in defending that. This is a good question for the church today, because we need to ask, how much does the church get involved with the state? Do we try to meld the church with the state, carrying both the sword and the word as he has in his statue? And are we willing to pay the prices that brings? I would say no. I think it's a question to ask, but Ulrich unfortunately brought that too quickly together, and that allowed for a quick defeat, unfortunately, on his behalf before he could develop any more doctrine. That's a little bit of Ulrich Zwingli here at Grossmünster. Thank you.